Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a marvelous film score, newly recorded, or reasonably newly recorded. I should have talked about it a year ago, but what the heck? When was it done? 2020. Okay, well, a few years ago then. What the hell? It's Endless Night by Bernard Herrmann, newly recorded on Quartet Records, the fabulous Spanish label specializing in all kinds of cool film music, and we're going to be doing lots of their stuff because they've got some amazing things. This particular disc features the Basque National Orchestra, which, as we all know, is a very fine band, under Fernando Velázquez, with, Tony Saigi at the Moog synthesizer, and Nuria Real, soprano, in the song written for this particular film. Now, for those of you who don't know, Endless Night was a film that was a big failure. It came out around 1971. It's an adaptation of an Agatha Christie novel, murder mystery, which is really, we always know that's going to be really good for Bernard Herrmann. And in fact, the opening, with its swirling strings and eerie Moog synthesizer. Herrmann wanted a theremin originally, but they didn't have a thereminist in the UK who could do it, so they used a Moog, which works just as well. It's a reminder of Taxi Driver, for example, with its saxophone solo. It's that sort of dark, brooding, the Ghost and Mrs. Muir sort of thing. Oh, it's really vintage Herrmann. It really is. There's tons and tons of music in here, too. There are 38 tracks on this particular disc, 31 directly coming from the movie, and 7 bonus tracks, which include the original versions of things that were adjusted or adapted for the actual film. And, Bernard Herrmann had a motto. He would tell other film score composers, save everything. He kept all of his scores. He wanted to be in control of his music. He knew how good he was. He knew what it meant. And so we have these things. Not all of them have been recorded yet, but I think almost all of them have by now, or just about. So, as usual with Herrmann, there's not a lot of continuity in the score. There's a lot of repetition, of course, of themes and motives. But there are, like I said, 31 tracks here and 38 in total, and the entire playing time is 51 minutes. So we've got a lot of 1 minute, 2 minute sniglets. There are some extended numbers. The prelude is 2 minutes and 15 seconds. That goes on for a bit. It's marvelous. Then the original version of Greta, which is a bit longer than the prelude. And we've got, anything else much longer than that? Well, there's the fight and the film version of the song, which is 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Encounter, 2 minutes and 22 seconds. And a few other things like that. But most of these things are less than 2 minutes long. But the wonderful thing about Bernard Herrmann is that even though they sort of stop in the middle of nowhere quite often, it's that he gives you a lot of bang for your buck. He was such a master at creating atmosphere, instantly creating atmosphere, and then sort of developing it, that after about a minute or a minute and a half, you really feel like you've gotten a healthy dose of really good music. Also, his style was based on repetition of sequences, motives that operate up and down the scale with brooding harmonies. And so, you find yourself just captivated by one little sniglet after another. And that's what happens here. It's wonderful stuff to listen to, and it doesn't bother me at all, frankly, that a lot of it is very abbreviated. The scoring is typically wonderful. This particular score has a small woodwind section. It's like an oboe, an English horn, lots of clarinets, like 5 of them, no flutes or bassoons, only horns, no other major brass, modestly used percussion. And, then there's the Moog and, harp and all that stuff, that makes Herrmann so Herrmann-esque. So there's a harpsichord in there too, by the way. A really, really wonderful use of instrumental color. Everything has its characteristic sound world and timbre, which is the other thing that makes the music so evocative. By the time you figure out what's actually playing, the track is kind of over. But it's oodles of fun. So I really, really recommend this. It's a beautiful recording. It sounds gorgeous. Fernando Velázquez knows exactly what he's doing. The Basque National Orchestra plays marvelously. Quartet is a terrific label. And you're going to want this if you collect film music or if you like Bernard Herrmann. Trust me, you're going to really, really enjoy it. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.